My dear friends, I hope this finds you well. I found a brief window where the rain has stopped, and so I thought I would sit outside and record my weekly video. I want to share with you a story, and it's a story that I always think about this time of year as we read Parshat Bechukotai, and also as we stand before Yom Yerushalayim. And it's a story that I heard from an individual who I am very lucky to call one of my rabbis, one of my teachers, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin, and a remarkable individual, a remarkable educator, someone who's dedicated his entire life to teaching the Jewish people. And he's stepping down from his position at Or Torah, which is an organization that I learned under and I'm incredibly grateful towards. And he is just an incredible person whose voice is so necessary. It has been so necessary in Am Yisrael. And Rabbi Riskin told me this story, and it really kind of stands out in my mind. And again, I think about it this time of year, every year, and I want to share it with you. The story goes that when Rabbi Riskin was a young boy, his grandparents used to take him to shul. And they would, from time to time, go to a particular shtibel, a small shul of the Tzanz Rebbe, very special Hasidic Rebbe. From what I remember, the Tzanz Rebbe was a Holocaust survivor. His wife was murdered in the Holocaust, and he lost 10 children in the Holocaust. And after the Holocaust, he was brought to New York by his followers, and there he tried to rebuild what he could. So Rabbi Riskin, as a young boy, was brought to this shul, and he was not a very tall man now, but he was even shorter as a young boy, and he was able to kind of sneak his way in. And he got just right behind the Tzanz Rebbe. They were reading in shul that week, as I mentioned, Parshat Bechukotai, and in Bechukotai there's a section of curses, these really awful curses that will fall upon the Jewish people if we fail to keep the Torah as we should. And the custom is that when the one who's reading from the Torah reads that section, they lower their voice and read it in a hushed manner, so as not to give it space, so as not to, we don't want to focus on it too much, we just get through it. And so that's exactly what happened in the shul. The one who was reading from the Torah, when he got to the curses, he lowered his voice and he did it in a hushed manner. After just a couple moments, Rabbi Riskin said he heard the Rebbe, the Tzanz Rebbe, standing right behind him, say out, Hecher, louder. The Baal Koreh stopped. He thought he heard what he had heard, but he said, that must be a mistake, and he continued normally in a hushed, low, quick tone. After a couple more moments, the Rebbe said again, a bit louder, Hecher. Again, the Baal Koreh paused, thought about it, and continued normally. After one more moment, there was a huge slam down on the table, and the Tzanz Rebbe was not a big man. He turns around, and Rabbi Riskin said he remembers as a young boy, he saw in those eyes, he saw a fire and a passion and an anger that he'd never seen before. And the Rebbe yells out, Hecher, I said louder. We've experienced all the curses. We've seen them all. I said louder. And at that moment, the Baal Koreh got the message, and he continued, and he read the Torah, and he read the curses in a loud, slow, deliberate manner. At the end of shul, you can imagine what people were feeling like. There was tears in the room, and people were shocked. They didn't know what to say, what to experience. At the end of shul, there was the Kiddush. And at that moment, the Rebbe got up to address the community. But this time, Rabbi Riskin said when the Rebbe stood up, whereas before there was that great fire and that anger in his eyes, now he saw a love and a warmth that he'd never seen before. And the Tzanz Rebbe turns to his community and says, my dear friends, we have seen and we have experienced all of the curses in that book. We've seen them all. Now, my friends, is a time for the blessings. My dear friends, and he turns to his community and says, my dear friends, we are moving to Israel. We're going to Israel. Tonight, we're packing up our stuff after Shabbos and we're moving to Israel. And that's exactly what happened. The Tzanz Rebbe picked up his community and they moved over to Israel, and they built communities. They built the Laniado Hospital, and he moved his community to Israel. And Rabbi Riskin said, for me, this was my first message in what Zionism really is. And Rabbi Riskin himself, he was a man who brought his community from the Lincoln Square Synagogue. He brought it to Israel and to Efrat. And this is what Zionism is. And it's an incredible story and a powerful story. We've gone through these curses. We experienced these curses as a people. But now, thankfully, we are in a time in which there are more and more revealed blessings in this world. A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated Yom HaAtzmaut, and those blessings, and this Sunday we celebrate the blessings, the revealed blessings of the Jewish people being back in the land of Israel. Of course, it's not done. We're not there yet. There's still so much to do in this world. We take a moment on Sunday, on Yom Yerushalayim, to celebrate, to be grateful, and to think about what we can do to bring us even closer to even more revealed blessings. May we see them mamash this year. May we see them this year. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.